Yeah, sunny day, shoot. Sweet sunny day, ain't doing nothing but party. Feels so good with the homies in the mood. Sweet sunny day, fade my troubles away. I feel so good, enjoy just like I should.
For many of us, music is a nearly constant part of everyday life. It's playing in the background while driving, shopping, or watching television. But how do we really know about the music that surrounds us? How it's created? How it moves from an idea to a product? Or the different people that make it possible?
You can act syndrome. Who was on the get drunk? Yeah, it's your gangsta. Homie, don't you know me? Cash making girl, your OG partner. Still a party starter. Still keep it gangsta. Yeah, I keep it rock, 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 rock.
The music industry business can be mysterious at times. It's crucial to understand what each sector of the economy accomplishes and how you may support oneself. The music industry is made up of those who make money writing songs and other musical compositions, producing and selling recorded music and sheet music, organizing concerts, and organizations that support, educate, advocate for, and supply music creators. Economies all across the world are significantly impacted by the music industry by strengthening social links and giving millions of viewers access to cultural opportunities. It also raises the quality of life for millions of people.
Solo quiero placer, es un día soleado, picar y solo
Sunny day.
As we all know, music is the art of organizing sound in order to achieve any combination of form, harmony, melody, rhythm, or other expressive content. Music, in and of itself, transcends time, location, and culture. Although definitions of music differ tremendously throughout the world, every known culture participates in it, making music a cultural universal. The origin of music is still debated. Critics frequently link it to the origins of language, with a substantial controversy over whether music emerged before, after, or concurrently with language. Most countries have their own legendary roots for the development of music, which are typically based on their mythological, religious, or philosophical beliefs. The music of prehistoric societies was first reliably dated to the Upper Paleolithic period by evidence of bone flutes, while it is unclear if the true beginnings lie in the earlier Middle Paleolithic period. There is little known about ancient music, with just a few primitive flutes and percussion instruments to show for it. Such evidence, however, suggests that music existed to some extent in prehistoric communities like the Xia dynasty and the Indus Valley civilization. The music of literate civilization, ancient music, was presented in the main Chinese, Egyptian, Greek, Indian, Persian, Mesopotamian, and Middle Eastern societies after the creation of writing. Many generalizations about ancient music are impossible to establish, but from what is known, it was frequently characterized by monophony and improvisation. In ancient song forms, lyrics were closely associated with music. And although the oldest extant musical notation survives from this period, many lyrics, such as those in Rig Veda and the Shijing classical of poetry, were associated with accompanying music. Surviving without the advent of Silk Road and increased contact between cultures, there was a transmission and exchange of musical ideas, practices, and instruments. As a result of these exchanges, Tang music was strongly influenced by Central Asian traditions, and Tang music, Japanese gagaku, and Korean court music influenced each other.
The latest developments on the music industry. For a long time, the music industry has relied predominantly on traditional record labels. Both creators and consumers were completely at the mercy of the labels, and music preferences were heavily influenced by whatever happened to be in circulation. In the last 30 years, the music industry has developed at high speed. It has changed the way music is listened to and produced. Millions of people have interacted with the music industry through global internet connections, which made possible the distribution of music in an instant and immaterial form. Different tools have been used to interact with the music industry, such as YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, or platforms like Spotify, SoundCloud, Mixcloud, and more. We can access music directly. Everything is at your fingertips in sharing and distributing of the latest and trending music. Looking back, music has evolved from art to industry. The music industry has operated with simple models and monopolistic tint. Today, recording companies have much higher investment levels in the best equipment for a music studio. This provides them operability, reliability, and sustainability in making music. The trends and future perspective in the music industry is adapting to digitalization and new technology, which benefits the way how music is consumed and produced. The advances in technology and media platforms have now become a foundation for an effective and efficient production and consumption of music. Like we can now stream music on the internet, and music will go more global and multilingual. Also, social media platforms like TikTok have given a huge opportunity to the music industry. And the rise of bands and singers do live streams to perform. The music industry is always impacted by technology. Millennials have been influenced by the trends of technology in delivering new methods of streaming music. Artists and producers have developed their creativity in putting record labels. The world of music keeps evolving every day. New sounds have been discovered. Music makers have been innovative in making music which gives satisfaction to all listeners. As we can see, the music industry has developed mainly because of technological advances and improvements in how things were done before. These advances have also brought in new opportunities for artists and entrepreneurs alike. In the coming years, we believe that the progress in the music industry will be largely dependent on these same factors.
I have a skin disorder. I'm a black American. I'm proud to be a Black American. I am proud of my race. I am proud of who I am. I have a lot of pride in who I am and dignity.
But you didn't get brainwashed by her day-to-day life and what her child is wearing and who she's dating and, you know, all the things that really, it's not your business, you know? And it shouldn't influence the way you listen to the voice and the art, but it does.
That wanted to be there to make sure, you know, everything was cool and that, you know, no other women were around and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. This is my first love. Remember, I had never really ever been in love with anybody like I was in love with Bobby, so.
The experience of hearing the sounds of many different voices from many different cultures throughout the world. Hearing the music of Sakyaki. Hearing the voice. Hearing the voice of, hey, hey, you, get off of my cloud.
The music industry has always been a global producer of entertainment and art, brimming with talents, innovations, and creativity from and for people all over the world. It is where we feel inspired, happy, relaxed, and even experience the most powerful emotions known to man. Despite the glamorous world of music and how it has influenced us as listeners, its darkest secrets are frequently kept behind the scenes. Here are some issues that have arisen in the music industry in recent years that are still prevalent in this day and age regarding sexuality, gender, and race. Let us start with issues regarding sexuality. Women are facing limitations in the industry. This has been an indicative of underlying issues of systematic male dominance that encompass industry attitudes and behaviors. These women artists have a more difficult time gaining recognitions than their male counterparts. They often experience lack of access to a male-dominated industry resources, having little to no opportunities to boost their careers in the industry. It is unfortunate that until now, female artist competition is fabricated and the problems raised are only addressed with lip service. Next is the concurring issues of sexism and sexual objectification. According to numerous studies, the music industry is a breeding ground for sexism. A stricter standard was implemented on the artist's appearance as music professionals claim that to succeed in business, women must look good in terms of appearance, image, visual performance, and sound good. Hence the reason why artists invest largely on their appearances. Try visiting YouTube comments. You'll always encounter comments or opinions on their artist's appearance rather than on their talents. In addition, female musicians are more and more likely to exhibit sexually alluring behavior in music videos, following the concept of the male gaze. Appeasing the male gaze is the only way for women to gain power. Furthermore, entertaining or pleasuring men is a way to gain approval from the male gaze. This explains the constant repetition of the music video tropes. In many music videos, cameras point towards a woman's chest and legs. Women are often dressed in more revealing clothes to attract a male audience.
Hypersexualization. Hypersexualization strategy for female singers mostly used as a form of marketing strategy in the music industry to gain recognition and sales and a component in creation of their character. While the industry somewhat protects itself by defending nudity on the grounds of the explicit lyrics, denial of hypersexualization, trying to appear as innocent and not really promoting it, even though it can be clearly seen or can be heard from their music. Sexual expression and sexualizing media content is definitely growing. such that found in music videos, will teach both men and women that having a seductive appearance is a crucial component of femininity and is something to aspire to. For example of hypersexualization in the music industry is this girl group figure Pussycat Dolls. This group, from their lyricism, character as members, and as a group, dance moves and acts in the music videos are highly sexualized, and that by the name itself and the concept of the group is sexist, corrupting the young people with sexual imagery.
Moving on to the issues regarding gender. The LGBTQIA+ have been experiencing marginalization. In the music industry, there's always been discrimination against their community. Take Freddie Mercury as an example. The Queen song entitled I Want to Break Free is an expression of the vocalist's identity. However, the moment it aired, the song were mostly banned in most states and other countries as it was deemed inappropriate. However, that definitely did not stop him from expressing who he really was from movements, songs, public relationships, and clothing. In today's age, cross-dresser artists such as Lil Nas, Harry Styles, or Jaden Smith, among others, are subjected to online homophobic comments for participating in things that are deemed feminine. This often results to other queer artists feeling unsafe with one's gender expression. Double standards in music genres for queers and straight artists have also been experienced. The industry can be homophobic and evident underrepresentation of the LGBTQIA+ community. Next issue is gender stereotyping. This issue distinguishes what artists can and cannot do based on their gender and what is socially acceptable. The result of this gender gap is a highly discriminatory industry. Artists and performers are all subjected to gender stereotypes which frequently force them to act in certain ways. Gender stereotypes influence how an artist dresses, what music they create, and how the public perceives them, and forces people to act in specific ways based on their gender.
Music promotes misogyny and gender-based violence. Many of the sources have cited that the industry's culture of silence as one of the many causes for why abusers are hardly ever exposed in the music industry. Is an example of which is when the ex-girlfriend of London rapper Octavian claimed that she was offered £20,000 to sign a non-disclosure agreement to keep quiet about the abuse she experienced in their relationship. This issue was brought to light in a 2021 BBC Three documentary titled Music's Dirty Secrets, Women Fight Back.
Despite the call for inclusivity, there have still been issues regarding to race in this industry. First, we have barriers of black music artists in the industry. Everyone knows these iconic kings and queens of a large variety of music genres. Beyoncé and Michael Jackson for pop, Stevie Wonders, Whitney Houston, and Prince for R&B, Bob Marley for reggae, and Tina Turner for rock and roll. While these are a few of the largest names of black musicians in the industry, these artists have been reported to have experienced the harshest racism in the industry. They are the iconic artists that break through barriers for other black musicians. Facing barriers in a white-dominated field, having only 11 black American artists to ever win an Album of the Year awards at the Grammys. Black music artists have received hate, heard derogatory terms solely on the basis of their race and of their skin. 6 out of 10 black music creators have faced barriers to their career because of their race. There has been constant jokes about their skin color, Africa, and persistent questions about their true origins. Next is xenophobia. This is defined as fear and hatred of strangers or foreigners or anything strange and foreign. And this is unfortunately visible in the music world. Let's take into account the BTS issue. The non-Western artist music is separated from the Western artist music. In award shows, they created a separate category for BTS and other K-pop artists, excluding them from the main awards such as Best Pop and Artist of the Year. If you've also watched their Western interviews, these K-pop artists were not taken seriously. For Black and Latin artists, separate categories labeled Urban or Best Latin Pop were created. It is obvious that the music industry refused to recognize non-white artists' achievements. The English language media and award shows contribute to a society in which people of color and those who speak a different language are marginalized.
Racial insensitivity and cultural appropriation in K-pop music. K-pop made a huge impact in today's music industry, with catchy melodies and music videos, synchronized dancing, amazing voices, and attractive artists and performers. K-pop industry and its artists is not just a representation of South Korea to the global music industry, but they do also play a great image and representation of Asia and Asians in the global music industry, which is definitely dominated by the Westerns. So it is a great opportunity for Asians to be recognized. Also, with its rise, its sharp music industry marketing gaining the attention of people, especially the youngsters dreaming to become an idol or singer landing in the K-pop music industry. Though K-pop has a great image and influence to the music industry, it also has its own dark side. Racism, colorism, and cultural appropriation is nothing new to K-pop. Within K-pop, blackface, mouthing, or saying racial slurs, and purely aesthetic uses of black culture and hairstyles are still in common. K-pop's usage of black culture is more fetishization than inclusiveness, and more appropriation than appreciativeness. Take for example, the group Mamamoo ran a parody video of themselves performing Mark Ronson and Bruno Mars' Uptown Funk, in which they do have the same outfits featured in the original video. But what sparked the controversy among the black people and the international fanbase is that these girls had some ill-conceived and highly offensive face. Realizing that we still have to explain how and why the idea of blackface is so repulsive is perplexing. It is never acceptable to dress up in face paint to represent a different race. Minstrel shows where white actors would don grease paint and embody racist stereotypes of black people are at the heart of the troubled history of blackface. Additionally, brownface, a current problem and it's nothing new in K-pop, reduces an entire race of complicated, nuanced individuals to a costume. Another example of racism in the music industry is where this black member of 4th-gen K-pop group Black Swan, Fatu, debuted and received harsh and racist comments because she is black and doesn't fit of being an idol in the music industry because she is not Asian and not Korean, and also because of her skin color as well. The reason why is because the creation and blueprint inspiration of K-pop music is coming from Black American music. So Black music definitely plays a great influence. Aside from racism, racial insensitivity, and colorism, cultural appropriation is nothing new to K-pop as well. Cultural appropriation occurs when elements of a culture are used, taken, or adopted unacknowledged. This kind of appropriation is harmful and offensive, promoting exploitation, resulting in racist actions, and frequently involving a lack of cultural recognition. Today, there have been many incidents of appropriation of Black American culture among the K-pop scene in everything from hairstyles and clothing to language. The line between cultural appropriation and appreciation becomes significantly hazed when discussed within K-pop, Popular acts wearing traditional African American clothing and hairstyles or using even the N-word in their music have crossed the line into appropriation of the Black culture. Though there are some K-pop artists or K-pop acts have appreciated the Black culture, but still the Black culture and the Black people always get left out of the scene and doesn't recognize the contribution of them in the Korean pop music industry. Black Americans have made too many contributions, especially here in the music industry, for their talent, hard work, and creativity just to go unappreciated. That is why giving credit and where credit belongs is very important, especially when discussing groups of individuals who are frequently disregarded and greatly faced racism as well.